Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So some pretty exciting news. If you've been following along on my socials at all, you will know there is some pretty big upgrades coming for the Unicorn 31. It's actually in the garage at the moment. Declan's little Euro trash BMW is in the garage at the moment. He's doing an oil change on it, so that's kind of taking up the room at the moment. But I am going to be doing some prep work ready for the next upgrades for the Unicorn. This is probably the first performance mod. Did do a bolt-on exhaust and extractors. This is the real first kind of engine mods that I'm actually doing to the car. The only real work I've done on the engine so far was when I initially got it, there was a bit of a coolant leak. Took the head off to fix that, at the same time give the head a refresh. Didn't actually change anything in it, just literally cleaned everything up, put it all back together. Didn't any mods or anything to it. But I am going to be putting in, you don't know what these are? These are the new injectors. Well, new, secondhand, but had only been run for a very, very short amount of time. These are actually what are called brown top injectors for the brown top that is on top. These are actually out of a VL turbo. So these aren't the stock, these aren't the OEM injectors, but they are a remake of the OEMs, hence why they're still a brown top. They're a higher volume injector. The issue with this, or the problem with that is, they run slightly different to the stock 31 injectors. They've got a slightly different, they've got a wider pulse width, which means the ECU for the 31 will not run it. Which also means, I'm not going to show you the front of that because that's going to give you stuff away. This is a VL ECU. So this is the brains of the computer, or brains of the car, basically. This will pair with these and run them nicely. So going to be putting those in, have to do this at the same time. The only catch with that is the VL fuel pump setup was a little bit different to the 31. So this kind of thinks there's two, pardon me, thinks there's two fuel pumps in there. As a result, I have to install a little relay to kind of make it all work. So I'm going to be, what I'm doing this afternoon is I'm actually going to be prepping this ready to go. Obviously can't get the 31 here to do it because Eurotrash is in here. But I can get this all prepped ready to go. So I'm not going to have time tomorrow because I'm actually going for a road trip to pick up some car parts, which is stage 2 of the fun bits going in, which more will be coming out of that very soon. If you follow my socials, you possibly already know what's going on. There's a few people that know exactly what's going on, but I'm keeping a little bit hush-hush for the minute, but doing it a step at a time so I can kind of troubleshoot if anything goes wrong. But that being said, sidetrack. Once Eurotrash is out of here, I'll get the 31 in, because essentially I'm going to have to do these at the same time. The ECUs will work with the other injectors, so the stock 31 ECU will work with the brown top injectors, vice versa. The VL ECU will work with the stock injectors. They won't work efficiently and they won't work great, so really I want to do them both at the same time. So change the injectors, change the ECU all at the same time. To do that, I'm in the garage, because once I start changing one, I can't move the car without changing the other. And I'm not doing it all in the driveway. Screw that for a joke. To make my life easier, what I'm going to be doing, I have a bunch of wires. I'm going to be wiring this up ready to go. So I need to splice into the loom that goes into the ECU and kind of splice that into to trick the new ECU into working properly. And the fuel pump's working okay. What I'm actually going to do is make my life easier. I'm actually going to be using little bayonety push fittings. So I'll solder the wires onto the back of the relay. A couple little pins there. There is a little wiring diagram off the R31 wiki, which I don't know why the R31 wiki seems to be down at the moment, but I have got the wiring diagram and I've written it all out. All my pin outs and stuff here ready to go anyway. So I'm going to solder onto that, heat shrink onto there, and then I'm going to put these on the other end of them so that I don't have to solder into the car, so I can splice the loom. Like there's one I need to splice. Well, she got a splice connector and can do that, that's fine. But at the same time, I can splice by pushing into that, and yeah, basically I can get away without soldering in the car. If I can do that, brilliant. That's what I really kind of want to try and avoid if I can. So yeah, I'll get this all prepped, which is what we're doing now. The one thing I have done already, which I didn't bother recording because it was kind of boring, the little bit of hose you can see up the top here on injectors. This is all, you'll notice, is all nice and shiny and brand new. This on the when I got the injectors was a bit manky. They'd pretty much, where they'd taken them off the fuel rail, they'd kind of split down here a little bit, so that had to be replaced. Have got spare fuel line in case I need to do any more anyway, but do have new ones of those too. I've already done the hose on those, so they're ready to go. So literally just pop them in, bolt them up, and they're all good to go. Connectors and stuff are the same, so the little connector on the top is exactly the same as the stock wiring loom. Between the VL and the RB, there's a lot of similarities. A lot of the plugs are the same, the wiring looms are the same, sort of stuff, because the engine management was essentially the same. The only difference was between the larger volume injectors and the ECU. Yeah, other than that, we're good to go. So let's get stuck into it, get soldering.
day 2 of fuel injector and ECU install. Camera view probably looks a little bit different because I've actually changed to my Canon M50 to do the filming for this one. Bit of audio I think as well, so rather than the lapel mic I've actually got the one up there. This can record a little bit better as well, so I thought I'd give this a crack. I was using it for a while, just got busy using it for like shots on, or for photos and video on track, so I kind of stopped using it for this a little bit, but it does do a much better video, so we'll see how we go. I'm going to use this a crack. So what we're doing today, I'll turn this around so you can see it. So ECU is out, so that's the old ECU. The wires down there, I've got to unplug that, and there's a few little splices and stuff I need to do, terminate a few in there. So this is all here, ready to go, so that's the relay and stuff all wired up ready. We'll need to get a few bits and pieces done with that first. That's all essentially ready to go. I've got to get the plugs and stuff out. I've got to figure out which plugs and double check color wires and stuff like that. Terminate some plugs onto the loom so that I can plug that into the relay, and then basically just throw it all back in. Not going to run the car. I can run the car with that ECU in. Battery is unplugged, obviously, as well. But I'd like to get the... I might connect the battery and at least kind of turn it on, make sure everything kind of works, make sure the ECU doesn't throw up any error warnings or anything like that, and then disconnect the battery, and then I will... Actually, I won't do that because the fuel pumps... As soon as I turn it on, test the ECU, it's going to pressurize the fuel pump, and we don't want that because I'm going to depressurize and blah. So it's depressurized at the moment, the fuel system. So I can unplug that without copying fuel to the face and spraying everywhere. So we'll give that a go. I do have to duck out for the end of the night, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done, but let's get stuck into it, stop wasting time, and let's see if we can get this thing done. So the ECU is roughed in. The interior is all back together. It's not too dark, you can see it in there. Interior is all back together. The ECU is roughed in. It's just sitting in the footwell on the passenger side at the moment. I'm not going to bother putting the panel and stuff back, like bolting it up and putting the panel back until I've tested everything. I am going to split this into two videos though, purely because having a look at the injectors, I forgot how much work there is to go into it. So doing that in the same video is just going to be absolutely monstrous. So I'm going to cut this video here, and then I'll do a second video of me doing the injectors themselves, which I'm going to get cracking on as soon as I can. But just for your FYI, to do the injectors, if I angle this camera around. So injectors are all located. Let's see if I can make this a little bit brighter for you, because it is very, very dark. Let's see if we can get this a little bit brighter. Not by much. Let's try going. We get a little bit. Okay, so injectors, for those that don't know, are down in here. This little piece here that kind of sits on the fuel rail up here. This is your fuel rail. Injectors go onto the fuel rail here with a bit of hose. You can possibly see this one a little bit better. Injector then sits in the top of the cylinder, injects fuel into the engine, as the name would suggest. The issue with this is the way the RBs are set up with this intake plenum here, or intake manifold, and the crossover, is this fuel rail is basically hugged by the entire intake. So to get to these, I need to take this off, basically take this, it splits, you can kind of see there's a couple of bolts here. This top half splits off, so I'm going to have to take that off to take the fuel rail off to get everything out. So to get this off, there's coolant attached in here, there's all sorts of shit going on, so I'm going to have to lower the coolant level, so I have coolant everywhere. I'm going to have to split all this, take all that off, take all this shit up the back off, all the ECCS and fucking throttle idle control and all sorts of shit up the back. Got to take all that stuff off, got to take all the throttle covers off, got to take a whole bunch of shit off. All the rebreathers for the fuel, the oil vapors back into the intake, that sort of shit, which I need to fix those up anyway, because I'm going to have to reroute this, and this for when I do the turbo upgrade. Oops, no one heard that. I haven't said that yet. For when I do other modifications later on, I may have to reroute those, but I'm looking to get a catch can for these two. I've just got to figure out how to do them. Oh, no, actually, point the camera where I'm actually tapping. So for these two oil rebreathers that go back into the intake, I'm going to put them onto a catch can. You can fit one over there. A lot of guys will run the hoses over there for it. Yeah, a little bit of work to be done. I'm going to turn it back down again so you can actually see me and not get blinded. Little bit of work to be done, or a lot of work to be done, but it's going to be its own whole video. I'm not going to put in this video, it's just too much. So I'm going to cut the video here. We're going to come back later with me doing the injectors as part 2, I suppose, for getting the ECU and fuel injector upgrade. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. This is kind of the first real sort of engine performance mod that I've done, short of just cleaning the head out and putting the extractors on. This is kind of getting to serious, sort of proper upgrades now. Not just clean outs and a little bit of here, little bolt-ons, it's actually proper upgrades. Yeah, really keen to see how we go. But don't forget, like, subscribe, comment down below if you want to see anything, if you like the videos, if you don't like the videos. I'm always interested in getting constructive feedback, or unconstructive feedback, if that's the word. Criticism, I think, is the word. Yeah, I'm recording this for the hell of it, so if you like them, you do. If you don't care. Yeah, excited. This is going to be cool. There's some cool shit coming. Don't forget, there is new merch dropping on the store. I have got a brand new shirt and hoodie design that's coming out very, very soon. I'm going to announce that in one of the next couple of videos. And yeah, as I said, easiest way to support me, guys. Like, subscribe to the video, get it up on the algorithm, do all the social media brouhaha. Obviously, follow me on all the other socials as well. I'm always keen to get more followers. I want to kind of make a big throw out this year and kind of make a big run at getting the followers and getting the traction up a little bit. So yeah, all the support you can give is much appreciated. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you out on the track.